Pope Francis issued a statement Monday condemning the systemic cover-up of sexual abuse within the Catholic Church. The letter is in response to a Pennsylvania grand jury report which detailed the abuse of at least 1,000 children by more than 300 priests. In his letter, Pope Francis begged victims for forgiveness, saying the Church should spare no effort to root out predator priests. Jan Crawford is in Washington with the latest.
The letter was unprecedented and blunt. We showed no care for the little ones, the Pope wrote. We abandoned them. Nearly a week after the release of a sweeping Pennsylvania grand jury investigation, the Pope condemned the atrocities suffered by at least 1,000 minors at the hands of more than 300 clergy members over 70 years. But the Pope stopped short of offering concrete steps to remove abusive priests or sanction those who took part in cover-ups. Cardinal Donald Wuerl, Archbishop of Washington, D.C., was accused in the report of shielding predator priests. As Bishop of Pittsburgh for 18 years, he oversaw 32 of the 99 accused. Cardinal Wuerl spoke with CBS News' Nikki Battiste the night before the report's release.
During my tenure, we acted very responsibly. We responded very appropriately with many times removal from ministry totally and completely.
Pushing up a meeting originally scheduled for next week, Wuerl met privately today with priests in the Archdiocese Advisory Group. He also canceled his attendance at a Catholic conference next week in Dublin, where the Pope is expected to appear. Over the years, the U.S. Catholic Church has paid over $3 billion in response to abuse allegations. Some are calling on all Catholics to stop donating at least until Cardinal Wuerl steps down. About 17 million American Catholic households donate an average of $10 each week, totaling about $9 billion every year. Frances Samber is a member of the survivor support group SNAP.
As a parishioner, it is your right to ask, where's my donation going? You have that right to ask that, and you should.
Jan Crawford joins me now from Washington. Jan, how are Catholics responding to the Pope's letter?
Well, I mean, Elaine, this is obviously something that's caused tremendous trauma to the church and to parishioners across the country, even before this grand jury report was released, and kind of was a shock to many people. So I think there's some gratification that the Pope is addressing this. Obviously, he is saying in this letter that they essentially showed no care for the little ones, that we abandoned them, an acknowledgement by the church, and then goes on to condemn those atrocities. But, Elaine, he really is offering no kind of concrete steps on what they're going to do moving forward, how they may sanction some of these priests or steps that they will take to ensure that this doesn't happen again.
Well, what legal ramifications could the church face?
Well, that's pretty significant, and already the Catholic Church has really been kind of caught in the legal crosshairs because of this. It's paid $3 billion so far to survivors of sexual abuse by people in the church. So you can expect to see that to continue, some of these settlements, litigation against the church and various priests as more victims come forward.
Jan, you mentioned a lack of concrete steps in the Pope's letter. What about the individuals involved in the sexual abuse crisis, including Cardinal Wuerl? What consequences could they face?
Well, already we've seen Cardinal Wuerl is under a tremendous amount of pressure. There have been calls for him to resign. There's talk of kind of people suspending their contributions to the Catholic Church until he does step down. His office has told us that he has no plans to resign or to step down. He met privately this afternoon. But, of course, the pressure is there. You know, he's canceled that speech next week in Dublin. His spokesman told CBS News that he worried that he would be a distraction. The Pope will be attending that speech. Obviously, this is going to be a major topic at that event next week. So Cardinal Wuerl will not be attending that. But again, I mean, he is saying so far that he is going to stand firm despite some of these allegations against him, and several detailed in that report that he kind of was presiding over some of these abuses that happened in Pittsburgh.
All right, Jan Crawford reporting from outside St. Matthew's Cathedral in Washington for us. Jan, thank you.